Now that you've seen how to add fillets and chamfers to parts, which are both applied features, I'd like to take a look at two more applied features, the shell command and the draft command. The shell command takes solid geometry and hollows it out, leaving a wall thickness of specified size. This is most often used to create injection molded plastic parts, which are usually designed to have a thin wall throughout the design. However, the shell command can be used in many different situations. The shell command can be enabled from the Features tab in the action bar shown here. There are a few ways you can shell a part, using an inwards shell, an outwards shell, or adding thickness in both directions. I'll use the inwards option for now and show you the other two in just a bit. The most common way to shell a part is to select a face that would be removed, and then the wall thickness is applied to the remaining exterior faces. For instance, if I select this bottom face of the block to remove it, you can see the preview showing a wall thickness being added inward from the exterior faces that remain. To help make this easier to see, I'll set the wall thickness value to 0.5 millimeters and click OK. You can see as I rotate the part that the bottom face has been removed and the part is hollowed out up until the wall thickness added on the inside of the exterior faces. This occurs for all the flat faces, the cylindrical faces, and even the fillets and chamfers. To show you the other shell options, I'll edit the feature once again. For now, I'll keep the thickness the same. However, if I change the shell option to outwards, the preview updates to show that the wall thickness is being added on the outside of the exterior faces. This means that the geometry I created before the shell feature is being entirely removed, creating the cavity inside the part. If I change the option to both, that same wall thickness value is added on the inside and outside of the exterior faces. This means the wall thickness is doubled, in this case totaling to 1 millimeter. Notice there's also this shell body option. This can be used to hollow out the part without removing any of the faces. So if I switch the shell option back to inwards and turn the option on, you'll see in the preview that the bottom face has a wall thickness being added as well. So if I click OK, the bottom face remains and the part is hollowed out with all the exterior faces kept in place. You can see this more easily if I go to the View tab and enable shading with edges and hidden edges. For now, I'll edit the feature again and remove the bottom face with an inward shell. The last applied feature I'd like to show you is the draft command. The draft command takes flat or cylindrical faces on a model and angles them outward or inward relative to what's considered the neutral plane. This feature is also often used in injection molded plastic parts, as the side walls of the design have a slight angle added to allow the part to be pulled out of the mold block. There are also many other scenarios that using this command is useful for. Before I use the draft feature, I'll roll the Design Manager back before the shell command and the fillet and chamfer, which will allow me to apply all of them after I add the draft to the part. The draft command can be enabled here in the Feature tab of the action bar. If the bottom face of the part is going to be shelled out like I had done, an injection molded part would need to have the neutral plane be parallel to that face for this design to be ejected from the mold. This means these side faces of the block and the cylinder should be drafted. For the first selection, I'll choose the top flat face of the cylinder as the neutral entity, and then choose the outer cylindrical face and the outer faces of the block. And for now, I'll set the draft angle to be 5 degrees. This makes a more trapezoidal shape on the block, and the cylinder angles outward as well. Now that the draft is applied, I can move the Design Manager to the end of the features to include them all.